is that song, The Swan. It's one of the most famous cello songs ever written. And when I heard it as a really small child for the first time on the radio, I just felt those special vibrations all over my body. It was like the magic sound I never heard before. And that was the moment that basically changed my life forever. Everything that I am today, it's from that moment when I heard The Swan by Camille Saint-Saëns from Carnival of the Animals. And this is where you could really see the cello in its full beauty. Cello as a swan. Actually, I could feel the swan swimming in this calm water through that sound. And it was the love at the first hearing. I was very, very little, I think I had 3 or 4 years, very small, but that was the sign that I was a little bit different child, because even though I was really little, I just felt I was captured by this magic of the cello. And I was so eager to play that instrument from the early start, as soon as I heard it, that I couldn't wait to go to school and wait a few more years. I tried to make cello out of I was really looking forward to start and play the real cello, but I had to wait a few more years. My mom was particularly happy about it because her favorite instrument was cello as well, and to see her son going crazy and becoming obsessed about that, I think it was like a dream come true for her as well. And there is one interesting story about that, because she was the one bringing cello teachers to my hometown, Pula, because it was a very small town and there wasn't departments for cello and for different instruments. And she was fighting to bring professors to open the cello department. She was talking to different parents and trying to convince them to put their children to start learning cello, And then her son became the most obsessed with it, So it was so many symbols in that. Even as a little boy, I had those huge dreams. I had those dreams to share my music with thousands of people around the world. I always envisioned myself in those big stages, in those most beautiful locations, where there is sea of people enjoying this beautiful music. I wanted to bring those beautiful music, classical music, to the masses. That was always my dream, even as a little boy. And many years later, this dream actually became true. Later on, in the shape of 2 cellos, at first, we came to that arena level touring acts, which is crazy if you think about it, because this is something that never really happened in a cello, Cello as an instrument never really reached that level. I always wanted to do something revolutionary with the cello and break all the boundaries, all the limits, all the preconceptions of anything, basically. I never really put music into different genres and categories. I never even seen it that way. For me, it was all about passion, all about what you actually want to communicate to the audience. And it doesn't really matter what you play. Is it rock? Is it pop? Is it classical? Is it opera? It doesn't really matter. For me, it was always the passion that I put into my performance. And that music is a universal language that everyone understands. And I just wanted to unite everything and everyone. Yeah, it was very interesting, this story with Luca, because for many, many years, people actually consider us to be the biggest rivals. And actually, we were inspired by each other because he was the one practicing at home like crazy, pushed me to practice more, I pushed him to practice more. We would meet in those different master classes, different seminars and competitions. It was always this kind of, tension between us. We were both young, same age, same country, the same instrument. So it was always this tension, but in a healthy way, That's how we had the same kind of thing. And then many years later, when we finally joined forces, it was just a huge explosion.
Hoćete još? Ajmo sad da vas čujem svi, ajmo!
Yeah, it was very actually interesting moment when this two cellos thing happened, because we've been trying so hard to succeed in this classical world. But we were very frustrated because it just didn't work out. We were winning competitions, he was winning first prizes, I was winning first prizes, but never really anything really happened. Career never really took off, and we just said we were both very young, rebellious and angry about the situation. We were so frustrated because there were always those rules, how you are supposed to play, there's so many unnecessary rules. And we were both heavily criticized because we were too passionate, too energetic, too much hormones into playing. We were criticized. We were sometimes we would be disqualified from some competitions and stuff, I had enough of this. I became so rebellious and I just wanted to become this rock star who's just gonna make whole world crazy for cello, fill up arenas, attract also a younger audience to that great music. Let's just do something totally revolutionary.
The two cellos.
Let's do something so crazy, so unique, so exciting to attract whole world to fall in love with the cello. And that's the idea for Two Cellos project was basically born. Believe it or not, you know how it happened? All this thing, two cellos, smooth criminal arrangement. I mean, it sounds crazy, but I was focused only on classical music for 25 years of my life. Only classical music. I didn't really know much about anything else. The only name that was familiar was Michael Jackson because he was so huge, so big, so even I knew it. And I was so fed up at one point with this classical music world and its limitations that I was you know what? Let me check this guy out, Michael Jackson. He's the one I heard the name. I typed on YouTube and I heard Smooth Criminal. This was the first song I heard out of classical music, and the idea was born. And that was it. That was the moment that changed my life again, forever. It was what is this? I wasn't used to that excitement, that rhythm, that adrenaline, and just gave me so much ideas, passion. And as I always seen cello as something that can do so many things, that is limitless. I just knew that cello can rock this so hard. We had an idea like how we're gonna do it. Let's do one video, then two, then maybe after 10th video, something will start happening. Then maybe after 15th video, we will be invited there. We just did that one song. It took us like basically a few minutes in the studio. Everything happened. Elton John called, Ellen DeGeneres called, Sony called. Everything just happened. Well, this was like really insane period of my life because suddenly, we've been struggling for so many years trying to, make it in the classical music area. First time we stepped out of it, everything happened. And actually it was a very stressful period because we were just two students who didn't know about anything. We just knew one song out of classical music. And now we are in this show business, not knowing how things work, having like 200 offers on my email in 5 minutes, thousands of emails, it was just like, what do we do now? What's like... We started a revolution, basically. I always admire people who basically changed the world with their music and made a revolution. For example, in the past, you have people like Mozart, Beethoven. Later on, you have people who just broke more boundaries. Elvis, Michael Jackson, the Queen, Freddie. And I'm so lucky to live in this moment where I could basically be influenced by all of those great masters from the past and just incorporate it into what I do. I was directly or indirectly influenced by all of them in a way. And I'm so lucky that I can be so diverse and basically cover all the fields. My upbringing and development as a musician was really unique because I experienced basically everything, I had this proper classical music training, like a serious classical musician, winning top prizes, doing master classes, being like this intellectual guy who studied everything, who knows everything about classical music. I know every symphony, every string quartet, every trio, every opera, I know everything. Then I'm that rock star guy who had 10 years of touring like a Mick Jagger with actually lifestyle as well. Then I have all those crooners and all those legendary singers from the past, like Dean Martin, Sinatra, Elvis, Julio Iglesias. Now the influences from more recent artists is like everything influenced me and shaped me to who I am today. And it's amazing and so fulfilling that I can cover all those areas and I don't need to be defined by anything. Well, I was also lucky enough to collaborate with the biggest legends that exist, like Elton John, Andrea Bocelli. Così forte, così grande che mi trafigge il cuore. Steven Tyler, Red Hot Chili Peppers, even with George Michael we played, and it's amazing that we were able to fit in all those different worlds. We are doing a song with a rock star, with an opera singer, with a pop legend, with everyone.
Go on YouTube and look at Smooth Criminal by the Two Cellos. So I think I looked at it on the spot. Someone had a computer, and we looked at it, and I was absolutely astonished.
When Elton called, that was like, oh my God. Like to be touring with one of the biggest legends of all time and just being part of that and seeing the best stages in the world, to see how everything basically works in that show business and learning from the best in the field was a life-changing experience.
They agreed to come and rehearse with the band, and they joined the band. They just kicked our ass, basically. And they fitted in so well, and they were such great people. If you really want to see something exciting, go and see them live, because it really is astonishing. I can't remember seeing anything as exciting as since I saw Jimi Hendrix at the Marquee Club way back in the 60s. So that's my take on the two cellos. Stjepan, Hauser, Luka Sulic, two brilliant young men from Croatia. Watch this space.
We were actually very inspired how relentlessly he works, how hard he works, and goes on and keeps singing and touring and never gets tired. Sometimes we felt bad because we were young, touring, and we would get tired, but then we see him doing it for so many years and never get tired and always gives his best.
Hauser! Happy birthday, dear Stjepan. Happy birthday to you. Yeah, baby.
We as a two cellos have a final tour. 10 years of two cellos and a final tour. And I think we as a two cellos have done everything we were supposed to do as two cellos. Like, we did this revolution, took the cello to a whole new level, to a whole new audience, became arena act, brought a lot of young people attracted to great music, to great instrument, made this really powerful, basically a rock show, you know? A real rock show. It's like coming to see AC/DC or Rolling Stones, and it's like two cello guys doing it, and it was really a real revolution. But I think now is the time. We did everything we were supposed to do, and now it's time for Hauser to bring the cello to even higher level. I always had this showmanship inside of me, and which actually has a negative connotation in classical circles. And I never understood why. I'm an entertainer, I'm a showman, I'm someone who belongs to be on stage and make people go crazy, make people dance, make people cry, make people laugh, make people experience all the emotions there are, playing all kinds of music. And I always saw myself as a showman. And now my big vision is to create the ultimate show like never seen before, where everything will be included. From a Latino dancing section, to classical music, to rock, to pop, to romantic, to everything. Never seen before show that will include basically history of music in one evening. And I was born to do that. people from different backgrounds, educate rock audience with classical music, educate classical audience with rock music, and everything in between, pop, Latin. I want to take them to a full journey when they experience absolutely everything, all kinds of emotions. You know, like taking them to this roller coaster and journey through the music of everything, and which is something that doesn't really exist and never really happened. There wasn't a show like this before. Everyone will leave home happy because they will come for something they like about me, but also they will be educated about things they didn't know before. Because we already had those kind of experiences when they discovered some beautiful classical melody, because they came to our concert to hear Thunderstruck or Smooth Criminal, and then they discovered Morricone song, or they discovered Piazzolla song. And this is the real revolution, because people are not even aware that they love something until you present it to them, you know? And I just want everyone to enjoy one and only music, one big celebration of music.
Let's get loud, let's get loud. Turn the music up to hear the sound. Let's get loud, let's get loud. Ain't nobody gotta tell you what you gotta do.
I have this great vision for my tour. I want to show everything in that first tour. You know, from Hauser, people can expect unexpected, because even I don't know what to expect from myself. I didn't give name to my cello, but it's a girl. That's all I know. It's her. I love her. I've been faithful to her all my life, and I'm gonna stay faithful to her forever. It's my first love, my last love, my only love, the love of my life. When I play the cello, I could really compare that experience to that one of making love. I really feel like I'm making love when I play the cello, because I feel vibrations all over my body when I play the cello. And when I play cello, I always treat cello like a beautiful woman, you know? Many people always say, the faces I'm making, the seductive looks and stuff, it's genuine, because that's how I feel. I'm flirting basically with my cello. I'm seducing the cello as well. If you know about this music video, Wicked Game, it's very meaningful on so many levels to me, very personal, because I wanted to basically show to the world how it feels to play the cello. There is no much difference between, you know, cello and the female, and basically I wanted to amplify that in that music video and show to the world how it truly feels to play that sensual instrument. I look at the music with all my senses. It's not just music, just audio, because I think the location can amplify the emotion of the song, you know? The right location, the right story, the right setup, with the right music, it just becomes a whole experience by itself. So I always look at it as a full package. I cannot separate audio from video. For me, it's all equally important. As I said, the cello is limitless. There is nothing you cannot do on the cello. You know, we've been proving it as two cellos for many years. Now I'm proving it as Hauser, because cello is perfectly suitable to create a rock show, to create a classical show, to even dance with it. I'm even dancing with my cello. Most of the people, when I was a child, were sure I'm gonna become a painter, you know, because I was drawing really well. and people were really shocked by my talent in drawing, and no one really ever thought about anything else about me. They didn't know that I'm about to become a musician one day at all. My early years were mostly dedicated to paintings, but then for some reason music won, and I never really got back to painting. So even though I don't paint anymore, there is still this element, because apart from music, I'm also a very visual guy who always want to make sure that audio is accompanied by video, and they both create this synergy of art. I never want to separate the two. My brain works in a very different way, because I never look at music just as a music. I always see it as a part of something. Like I see some location in nature and I know straight away music that goes with it, you know? I see waterfalls, I know which music I want to play there. I see some beautiful building, I know which music goes along with that. I see a beach, a sand beach, I know what songs I want to do there. It's like my brain always works in that way, where everything is connected. It's like making a movie, basically. Alone Together series was born in the middle of pandemic, where basically concerts were not possible, but so I tried to find ways to still connect to my fans around the world, around the globe. So even though we were all separated, there was a way to be united more than ever before. Even though this first concert, Alone Together, was in my hometown, Pula, in this Colosseum arena. First time there wasn't an audience in the arena, but there was more audience than ever watching the streaming, you know? And the idea was born, of course, because I always wanted to connect beautiful landscapes, beautiful architecture with beautiful music. It's like a healing effect. Playing the most beautiful music, the most beautiful melodies, in the most beautiful nature is the medicine for the soul. I started, of course, from my hometown, because first of all, you couldn't move. There were restrictions everywhere, so there wasn't any other choice. Luckily, we have this beautiful monument, Colosseum, where all the biggest names of the past performed. And even two cellos had 2 times concert there. Hauser and Friends concert happened there too. It was always fully packed, but this was the first time that I played in an empty arena, Pula, which is great, because you can see the beauty of the monument more than when it's packed with people, you know? So basically, arena was shining more than ever before. It was a very touching moment, because, you know, music was so touching. The empty arena, so much symbolism there, you know, and the message was like so strong and powerful, you know. Message was I was like paying tribute and gratitude to everyone, you know, who was helping through that difficult moments that was happening on a global level. And I was alone, but we were together at the same time, so Alone Together title was appropriate. When I saw that how well it was received, then the idea was born for, I wanted to show other beauties of Croatia, share it with the world. So I went to Dubrovnik, which is the most famous city of Croatia. Then I wanted to show Krka waterfalls, the beauty of the nature. And then I did Morricone project in the similar concept, you know, because I wanted to pay tribute to Maestro Morricone, because he just passed away at the time. So, and his music spoke to my heart more than his melody. He's like the king of melodies, and all my life I've been dreaming of recording those beautiful melodies on the cello. So I did tribute to Morricone in the same kind of, concept, like Alone Together. It was really good to feature all this, share it with the world and show the beauty of Croatia and the music, share it with the whole world. Each person who knows Hauser has totally their own perception of me, because let's say Hauser announces the tour, the ultimate show that we were talking about. Someone will come to my concert because of, let's say, Bésame Mucho. Someone will come to my concert because of Morricone. Someone will come to my concert because of Waka Waka. Someone will come to my concert because of pure classical music. So it's like everyone knows Hauser through totally different influences. And, everyone discovers me through something from totally different world that has nothing to do with this, and that's what's unique about me, because that's something that never really happened before. Like, everyone has their own idea of who Hauser is. And that's what's interesting. And once they all come to the show, I'm gonna say, okay, so now listen. Hauser is this, 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 this. So basically, all of these influences are part of my persona and my show. It's the most complete journey. I don't think I could have found a better tool, because cello really is so, it's like also limitless in a way, because if I picked any other instrument, I would be way more limited. Let's talk about violin. Everything is high. Let's talk double bass. Everything is too low. Take guitar, you can only pluck it. Take drums, you can only hit it. Cello, you can hit it, you can pluck it, you can be low, you can be high, you can be all in between. You can be like a singer, you can be like an electric guitar, you can be like a harp, like acoustic guitar. You can use it as percussion. It's like endless possibilities. And really, I think that was the only tool for me to express all of my diversity, all of my crazy ideas, which I could not express through any other tool. So I'm so happy that I have this cello through which I can talk to millions of people. Like, instrumental music cannot be popular like, this vocal. But in a way, it can be more popular because there is no this language barrier, Cello doesn't need translation. It's like what you hear, what you get, it speaks equally strong in every part of the world. Instrumental music, I don't think it gets the attention it deserves. I have a feeling that I'm on this mission to really unite the whole world through the beauty of music, and I think instrumental music, because it has no words, it means it has no boundaries. So it's the most powerful tool to reach everyone in this powerful language through the beauty of cello and music. So basically, cello is the tool which brings out all of my personalities. I can be a good boy, I can be a bad boy, I can be angel, I can be devil, everything in between. And also, what I notice is every time I take cello, like something higher power enters my body, and I just like, it's not even me anymore. Many things become artificial in a way. You have those, everything is produced, everything is like DJs and stuff. There is not really human hands creating the sounds. And I want to prove that you have a cello that can create even bigger party, And it really bothers me that less and less, everything becomes more and more artificial. The way they're producing music, the way they're making music, less and less they're using real musicians in the projects, I want to bring back those values from the past, to have real musicians, to have real connection. I want to create a huge party where everyone will be involved in making the music, in making the party. I want to have musicians who are part of this and not to use those artificial elements. I want the electricity of humanity. We can all come together and create a party. We should create the music with hands and with instruments and with hearts and soul. I could be a total showman in every aspect. I could have my own TV show, I could have my own Vegas show, I could have my own movies. The inspiration is endless, it just doesn't end. I could just keep going in so many directions. It's just a question of time, I would say. Cello is my weapon,